So I'm going to go with the EU region. My team to watch is Northern Gaming. They're going to have to deal with a little bit of adversity now because they don't have Maestro. They're going to be using Turbo. You see him there in the middle. He's going to be coming in and trying to fit in that dynamic between Remco and Devo, who are two world-class players. In Turbo, we've seen him in Season 1 competing with Mockit. They went out in last place. Season 2, he played on Oh My Dog, scoring about half his team's goals. And in the regional championship, he did step up and perform. But the question is, can NG, with their new roster, perform this weekend when it matters most?
Jam will grow into this.
Yeah, Jam is one of those teams, and we saw it in the regional championship for them as well. At that land as a shot comes in from Remco, scoring first.
Both of them missing it. It's going to pull forward Devo. Long clearance, looking for Remco, who's just on the boost. And yet again, they've got time, and they've got positioning, but they just have not been able to find each other. Now Devo can leave that, and yet again, extra things going into game 2.
Well, we talk about Northern Gaming being that unknown factor as they...
Hi, Remco. His opportunity to move forward. He's going to take it. And that is going to be the 5th goal. Devo's picked this up with the pass over to the side. Turbo Pulsar. Game 1 is over, and they can now mentally reset themselves in predicting the ball and winning it outright.
Oh, as that ball gets played inside of our down ski from Remco.
Really need to link up if Jam want to have a chance here. Off the crossbar, still going to be in a dangerous position. Remco with the follow-up, 2-0. Tackled, or sometimes they just don't quite find the pass. As Turbo Pulsar takes the shot, it's going to find the net. His team a bit bobber, but Devo has it covered. Trying to go for the follow-up. I don't think he's quite going to get there, not with that amount of boost. As Remco jumps up, trying to convince a player to come out, and he's managed to do it. Lovely bait from Remco. Game 2 is over. Gaming is that all of the boost was already gone, and Turbo Pulsar is fouled.
What a fantastic pass play. Yet another huge clear coming out from Remco, but Turbo cheating off, being that aggressive role.
Turbo's going to be the first player up to that long looping clearance from him, followed up by Devo. What a goal from Northern Gaming!
Another shot coming out from Northern Gaming. What are with these long clears? They are very elevated all the way downfield, and then just their teammates come out
against NRG. Now the ball loops down to the other end of the field. 3 goals now for Northern Gaming. They are on a tear. Northern Gaming take it in a sweep.
Northern Gaming looking so very strong. We brought them in as the unknown.
Without a doubt. We're about to see some of the highest level Rocket League we're ever going to see. So it's going to be an exciting matchup here. Best of 5 to determine who's going to advance to the next round in the bracket. And now it's time for me to ask you guys who you think's going to win. Best of 5, who's moving on?
This could be one of the best series we see this entire weekend. It is Dynasty versus Dynasty, but this crowd is going to be the difference maker here. I have the #1 seed from North America.
Ladies and gentlemen, your next best of 5. It's Northern Gaming versus NRG. North America versus Europe. Get hyped, get ready. Let's get into the game with the commentaries. Wade Punk and Finable Card.
Back and forth in front of the net. The solid clear from Fireburner sends it into the orange, but no follow-up pressure. They'll be able to put it back into the box there. Is Turbo able to put it back out into the middle? Final minute of gameplay, still scoreless. Northern Gaming with the opportunity. Devo will finish it off, and they're on the board. Looking for an opportunity as Devo hits the air. Jacob over the top, back into the box. Garrett's there, he punches through. Tie game.
This is what you don't expect, and this is what Jacob comes out so strong. Looking like he was going to retreat, he stays on the wall instead, tries to read the push to the corner, passes it out, and Garrett always that third man following through with the shots.
Can Remco get in the air first? Nope, Garrett's going to play it away. Now Fireburner very much out of position. After that follow touch, Jacob on the open net, it goes in! The setup from Fireburner does successfully work. NRG takes game 1.
Jacob just following up a shot from Turbo Pulsar. He gave up possession, clearing that out. He tried to follow suit. You saw him rotate upside down, try and boost and follow.
And now he's got to clear up. Got a second touch as well, into the corner. Jacob moves in, continuously just methodically pressuring that one through. It bounces off the post, and Jacob gets the first goal of game 2.
You know, as far as Jacob goes, this is pretty vanilla.
Yeah.
But at the same time, his mechanics, he will always showcase when he gets an opportunity. Devo found himself facing Jacob.
Devo doesn't have the angle, and Jacob will just carry it past him into the corner. Final countdown here of game number 2, just the 1-goal game, and the ball is, as it has been the whole game, in the orange corner.
So much pressure from NRG this game, and confidence as well. I think they may have overcommitted there towards the end. That last pass, Jacob wasn't being risky. He cleared it all the way over Fireburner in the midfield, but you can see the crowd is loving this. They want to see their North American team the realistically now we see them. Will they finally do it? I think if they win this, if they take this series, I just want everyone to listen.
Oh, look at this. Jacob pumping up the crowd. And one of my favorite things here at LAN is watching the veterans get more and more comfortable. Every LAN they come back, and they are more and more.
One game left. Will they sweep Northern Gaming?
Ian Remco in the corner here. Jacob will just move in. A bit of confusion on the defense. The demo will help it out, and Garrett G puts it in. NRG's up again.
And that's enough pressure for them to be able to score this. Fireburner trying to just keep in the corner, forcing Devo for that first touch, and then Jacob just follows through. He's like, I don't have the ball, I've got you instead. Takes out one.
Opportunity there. Northern Gaming will be able to transition this one, but do they get the shots they need? They've been struggling here. There, they'll put it through. There's the tie game. Northern Gaming's on the board. Keep that pressure onto the backboard. Devo cleared away once more. Garrett G on the wall. Can he double tap it down? It goes in! It took 3 bounces, but NRG's got the lead back.
You can watch Remco see it happening and have to change his mind. Like, oh no, don't do it. He saw Garrett following through. He didn't think he had the boost or the momentum, but Garrett waiting patiently.
Offensive pressure like they have not had the whole series. The best opportunity. Ken Turbo pulls to get the pass. He misses the touch, and Jacob flanks it away. Devo trying to push it out of the play. Remco, it's all up to him, but Jacob will fake him out again. It'll touch NRG, sweeping Northern Gaming. They'll move on to the upper bracket.
For the first time in LAN history for NRG, they finally take down a European team. They've been struggling with that fact for over a year now, and finally you can see how happy they are. This is going to give them the confidence to move on. This finally breaks that wall of maybe we just don't know how to beat European teams, but finally they do it. A valiant effort from Northern Gaming. The games were close, even if it was a 3-0 sweep. They just seemed a bit outpaced through most of those games.
To make way for Northern Gaming up against the crowd favorite Rogue.
All right, let's get things started, ladies and gentlemen. Your first match of day 3. This is the World Championships
For the Rocket League Championship Series Season 3, it's time to get into the first match of the day.
They're starting attacks with their own look at connecting with passes as well with Remco. Does get stopped out by Rogue. Off the backboard, Remco will connect with it in the net. Northern Gaming grabs the first goal. Any kind of scoring opportunity at this moment from Rogue. This might be a chance though. Matt is up, puts it on, Bardowski, and they have a tie game.
The man in day 1 who had 10 goals over 4 games, showing up a beautiful pass from Sizz, and then the Bardowski from Matt. He is here to play. Well, it's Turtle getting that 50-50 and grabbing the boost, so he's all boosted up as Turtle poises down. Wins that will boost grab as well, but it does matter.
Oh,
Remco,
Remco, what a shot, but no finish there from a teammate. Turbo tries to get that into Devo, but he was way up towards the net. Incredible plays, and Rogue has to watch out for those.
Well, that's what the guys on the desk were talking about. Northern Gaming has had a really slow start as Matt sneaks another one in.
Slow start or not, they're gonna move that one forward, grab a goal, putting themselves into the lead. What an angle from Matt.
To come across the goal and play that back in as he feathers it.
Remco, look at that midfield pressure right now. He finds Devo, but a miss there. Will go into the corner. They're gonna have to try again. 1 minute remaining. They have to get a goal!
What a shot!
And Turbo, once again for his team, puts them back on the scoreboard.
Fantastic placement again from Turbo Posa, showcasing that 43% shooting accuracy. Unbelievable. We haven't seen shooting accuracy like that since Season 2 from Rizzo at the LAN.
Anticipating all these touches from their opponents, being on the wall and ready to get
Turtle.
these away. Remco forces that one through into the corner. An awkward situation for Rogue. Pass off the backboard. Turtle to Matt with 2 seconds left. They have to put it on target. It's gonna miss. It's gonna hit the ground. Northern Gaming taking your first game in this best of 5. Gonna try to carry it down the entirety of the field by himself. He will get stopped out by that Northern Gaming defense. A good flick from Devo to Turbo. There's a third man in. Off the backboard. Devo has a chance, but an incredible anticipation from Matt. And there's a third shot. Turbo Pulsa once again for Northern Gaming. Got Turtle with support. Shot. Stopped out by Turbo Pulsa. All over the field this guy is. And Devo as well. It's so hard.
Oh, Devo!
When Northern Gaming is absolutely everywhere.
What a shot from Devo coming out, reading that perfectly off the wall. It takes a ridiculous bounce that Sizz just isn't ready for. Perfect play from that wall.
With 0 seconds left, you can't score 2, maybe 1, but Northern Gaming now at match point as they look to carry themselves further on into this bracket. They have had a curse of only hitting third every single time, and you know they are fiending for a first or second spot, likely first spot, but something better than a third place spot. Game number 3, Rogue is gonna need your energy coming into this one because Northern Gaming sits up 2-0 at match point, looking to eliminate Rogue from Season 3 World Championships. on day number 3, and an early goal is going to set the pace for Northern Gaming. Rogue now has to catch up. Now, all they have to do is hold on to this lead, and they will be able to walk away with that full 3-0 sweep on Rogue. Rogue starting the attack. Turtle and Sizz working together. Turtle, an air dribble into the net. Off the goal line. 16 seconds left, and Sizz will get the credit for the tie.
The duo coming out from these boys. What a play from Turtle to dribble that up slow and steady, and then play that to Sizz. What are you doing?
I'm out of breath from that play. Rogue, absolutely incredibly. The ground, and we have an overtime.
Overtime, game number 3. Do or die moment for Rogue Esports.
He's going to save that one. Upfield cherry picks. That's what they need to put these shots on net against Northern Gaming.
Remco has been absolutely fantastic on defense. Just one shot, I have another open net, but Devo able to get back.
Devo has been absolutely clutch on the saves right now for Northern Gaming. He is everywhere. And as they move upfield, they all try to create a counterattack. Turtle to intercept that one. In front of the net, scary spot, a shot by Remco, and Rogue is going home. Northern Gaming will move on to the bracket, trying to beat that third place curse that they've had with a full 3-0 sweep.
Turtle doing his absolute best, trying to stay in the air on that one. He recognized the touch to the outside, got up as quick as he could, but Turbo Pulsa just too much to play that back in, and they catch him on the far post. But this team has been loving this so much, and they were so close to bringing that back, but Northern Gaming was just too much.
Cover it, but that attack from the leftovers is not over yet. As they try to put it on a Turbo. They are down a goal. Northern Gaming looking extremely well. Both these teams have warmed up and have played today earlier.
What?
But Remco just bodies that one through. Gaming is looking solid on the pitch. Farah gonna grab that first one with 49 seconds left. This might be the comeback.
Farah said he likes to shoot. Remco having to do a last-ditch effort as he backflips and plays up to a teammate already waiting for this leftover team.
Leftovers as Northern Gaming is starting to feel that pressure. 20 seconds left. A shot though from Turbo Pulsa. They need one opportunity to break out of their own end, and they result in a goal. They have a whole series ahead of them, and they cannot let that get into their own heads. It's do or die at this point, which is a lot of pressure, but they've been looking good. The confidence is key. We've seen it from a few teams where just being able to stay in the proper mindset.
There they almost sneak one back in.
Ball drops down. Northern Gaming just feeling themselves with that last second goal there. Definitely been that outwatcher for the defense of the leftovers. Look at him always paying attention to that goal line, watching. Look at him just waiting patiently, but it
one in.
wasn't enough. He didn't see what Devo was doing. Snasky with the pop forward, Sicky waiting. Tries to get the touch. Devo's gonna send it to net. Farah trying to get in front of it. Maybe not enough boost, or able to get that speed to pull this one back, but it just might be too late on this, and they might have to look at their most famous thing that they do, a reverse sweep. From Northern Gaming in the rest of this series.
Northern Gaming and Leftovers both in a familiar position. The last time it panned out, the Leftovers were just able to come out on top. But this is a totally different story. The momentum definitely in favor of Northern Gaming, but Leftovers, if we know anything about them, there is always a chance in league play with Maestro. And I was actually a little bit timid with Turbo Pulsa, just not the same. But the way that these guys are playing, it is unbelievable.
Oh my goodness!
What a shot from Snasky!
Sicky to Snasky, and he just tucks her away right in the top corner. An incredible play from the Leftovers to grab the first goal.
The awareness to recover, to play that down to a place where only your teammate can
make
reach
an attack now. 1:18 left.
Double commit.
Trying to go for the reads. That could be it. Snasky has an open net. A 2-goal lead, and the Leftovers
being a nuisance on defense.
This is
Turtle
rough.
puts a shot in, saved again.
Sicky is a beast in defense right now. Almost enough. Devo gets a touch to Turbo.
What?
On the goal line.
Put it in.
Finally finishes it off, but can we give credit to Devo? What a pass!
What a touch indeed.
What even is that?
Turbo not able to get it. I think he was surprised as well, but everybody rotating back in, sending the house. 9 seconds left. If they can tie it up, we go into overtime, and on match point, Leftovers trying to stay alive. The crowd behind them.
We'll see if they can do it with 4 seconds left.
No,
there's a shot! Devo with 2 seconds left ties it up. Leftovers did not want this to happen.
All it took was a kickoff and that crucial play from Remco. He was in the spot to make that save. It doesn't matter. Gets bumped out of the way. Frees it up for his team. We're all tied up 2-2 with 2 seconds left. That's too many twos.
That's my lucky number. But not Leftovers right now as we hit overtime. 1 goal. Turbo doesn't move it down. Over a minute into overtime now. One goal. Will knock out leftovers. Dangerous spot there. Sicky playing it patiently. Remco almost had a chance. Off the corner, Devo takes it to himself. No touch there. It throws Snasky out of the play. Turbo with Devo. He's boosted up. He has a chance to give that to Remco.
It's gonna sneak it out with Snasky!
Snasky keeps it away. Farah with Sicky have to be careful with this one. You watch them playing so patiently. They have to make sure puts it down into the other end. He'll get the touch in front of the net, but he has no teammate there to help him out. He'll try to do it himself. Devo takes it away. Farah in front of the net. Remco to take that off the backboard. Turbo and his teammates from Northern Gaming trying to get this one out, but now we see an attack from leftovers.
Turbo is starting to play a little bit more timid. His touch is not as strong, but luckily for him, these two other players are doing a fantastic job. As the ball in front of the net, Remco does it! Oh my goodness, I cannot believe they were to pull this out.
And Northern Gaming gonna knock out the leftovers in spectacular fashion. The leftovers so close to bringing back this sweep, at least getting that game, but it wasn't to be. And Northern Gaming, once again, find themselves in a top 3 spot in the RLCS World Championship.
They sweep their first game of the day. They sweep their second game of the day in that crucial play. I can't believe that brought them into overtime. Sicky was on the backboard ready to make a save. Remco had other ideas. He goes up, bumps him out, it plays off the backboard, opens up a shot, we go into overtime, and then they clutch that as well. This Northern Gaming team is ready to play.
Today, as Northern Gaming advancing on to those lower finals, facing off against NRG.
We got two dynasties about to battle it out. Once again, we saw it at the start of day 2.
And this is the first rematch of the entire tournament.
Strong squad, but guys, I have energy as well. They took out Northern Gaming a little bit earlier in the tournament. I could honestly see this. I could honestly see this going all 7 games as well, which would be excellent. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get on into the match. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Your second to last best of 7 potentially here at the RLCS World Championships live from the Wiltern in Los Angeles.
Both these teams will want to push themselves into that grand final that we'll be seeing later on today, as that is going to be an early mistake, and Remco can take advantage. NRG are going to be bleeding out. They just want to keep that ball out of their half, maybe start working on something later on. Turbo Pulsar follows up his own tap. Can he continue going? There's actually no one in net from NRG. With the follow-up, that's going to be dangerous. Garrett's just going to get himself up there with a shot on target. One step closer.
That should add a little bit of confidence for Jacob, able to get up after that first touch and a beautiful pass out to the middle. But oh my, Garrett upside down, putting that shot on net, getting the crowd to cheer.
Old style of play, do not allow another team to go out of their half and just waste away the clock. That's going to be pushed straight to Turbo, who will let that onto the floor. Northern Gaming pick up the very first win for this Northern Gaming offense.
No, it's exactly that. They're sitting back. You can see Fireburner with some hesitation. A guy that never loses 50-50s, Devo, gonna get a goal over the top. 3 touches in a row for Devo, able to score that as a kickoff goal. Gonna sneak by up by 2.
Gonna arc straight over to Jacob. Really needs to step up. The North American MVP has managed to get it over to Fireburner, who gets one flick, continues onwards, hits the crossbar. It's still dangerous though. Garrett is going to try and get this off the crossbar yet again. Every single NG player is on the goal line just in time to prevent Fireburner from taking a shot. The best shooter in North America, and that is yet again the second time.
Because one just isn't going to do it.
Bull Devo's kept that in a dangerous position for his team.
Oh,
Fireburner is going to happily eat that one up. Still got plenty of swings left in them. That's going to be no contact from NRG, playing the risk there. Garrett needs to get the save, but he cannot quite make it. Remco.
But as time progresses, this NG team just keeps looking better and better and better.
Go for the balls that they know they can either win or block. That's going to be played off the sidewall. And a crucial touch there from Jacob will not allow a rebound to come through. And there's the counter-attack off that backboard, off the sidewall again. And there's Jacob. Third time is the charm.
There's the pressure, and your North American MVP coming out.
Put into the air. Remco yet again, more and more challenges, trying to do his best Snasky impression. Devo is actually going to get a shot onto target. How on earth did he generate that much power? Get together to win that ball. Turbo Pulsar is not going to have the boost to win that though. But more and more shots coming in, and Jacob cannot react. Remco, NRG's offense has been straight towards them. They have not needed to move.
The big difference about this game, though, is NRG is pushing up a lot more shots on net. It's Garrett and Jacob, and Everybody getting involved for that one.
That is absolutely huge, taking it away from anywhere where anyone on that goal line can come through and challenge, and that is exactly the change-up that they needed, slicing open the NG defense. Backboard, Remco is waiting for that touch. Is going to mean TurboPulsar has to cover. A goal is open. Garrett aims for the side. TurboPulsar rotates himself back just in time. We are continuing to play. TurboPulsar is going to loft that one into the air straight over to Jacob. That's a poor touch there from Remco. Jacob will take it, and the crowd has erupted.
That is the exact definition of persistence that they were looking for. One after another until the defense finally broke from Northern Gaming. One mistake was all it took, and they're back on top. They are one away from tying up this series.
That was crucial. A two-game pass that we see there. 3-0 or 2-1. Guess which one they wanted.
Very different playstyles. Remco has been notorious for his defensive saves so far in that sweeper position you were talking about. Energy sticking to the same old pattern. Seems to be working in that last match, but let's see if they can do it again here.
Oh, that is going to be that arcing roof coming back yet again. Did see Garrett on that sweeper roll as TurboPulsar couldn't quite read the touch, but he has managed to get it over to Devo. Remco just off that sidewall, but Fireburner still pretty much by himself. He's going to allow Devo to move himself forward. He's going to get a double tap off that sidewall. Very impressive there by Devo. He's to try and find a teammate on that sidewall because they are starting to get absolutely starved out, and that is a classic Northern Gaming goal.
They just can't seem to find it as this one is going to roll back inside. Garrett not able to get there in time.
But that is going to hit the floor, and Northern Gaming are one game away from sending the favorites of our crowd home. Shot right here, Garrett is on the goal line. He's going to push it to the side, and he's going to miss that. Actually, Devo takes the shot. He's found the side of the goal, and Northern Gaming take the lead yet again. Remaining for NRG to salvage their tournament lives. Devo is going to make it even more difficult. 2-0.
This is what we know Devo for. That by Remco and put down to Devo as Devo tries to put a shot on net. It's going to hit that backboard and slam down, and Turbo wins the 50-50. Again, Northern Gaming in the board.
But once again, the Northern Gaming defense holds up. That's going to be towards the net. Remco cannot get there, and that is what?
Northern Gaming able to finally break their curse. They're moving on to the grand finals to face Mockit Esports, the two-time team to be there. I cannot believe this for Northern Gaming. They're looking so strong.
We had so many questions. I remember when we had our casting meeting, we said, what's with Northern Gaming? And we just put a big question mark on them because we...
Welcome to the grand finals of Season 3. We have two European Titans here fighting for the title. For the first time in RLCS history, the host nation will not be taking home the title. It will be Europe. It's just a matter of who, Carpet.
And I smell a little bit of vengeance. Mystic got dropped from Northern Gaming just last season, and I know that even from his interview, he was saying, like, hey, I'm finally getting a bit of recognition now that I'm not in the shadow of Remco and Maestro, and Maestro's not even here. Remco's been doing it without his buddy. That pair kind of became iconic in the Europe scene. They were always runner-up. They have finally broken through the barrier of third place. They are now at least in second place, but they have at least a double bracket reset in front of them.
Northern Gaming, one of our dynasties here. There was so many question marks around them coming into this LAN. Would they be able to perform with the sub TurboPulsar? And they have done exactly that. They have gotten so far in this tournament. They are going to be one of the most consistent teams in all of RLCS history, finishing third in the first two seasons and second at least here, if not first, if not being your grand champion. But on the other side, Mockit Esports, a team so many have doubted for the entirety of the season. Gibbs has had their back the whole way. Can they do it against Northern Gaming, the dynasty from Europe? It will be Mockit in the blue, Northern Gaming in the orange. Get up and get loud, Wiltern. It's game day. Let's go find ourselves a champion. It'll be TurboPulsar and Kadoff off the kickoff. Remco wins it out first. Can he get the early goal? Northern Gaming strikes first.
Setting the pace immediately. We see a heavy cheat from Remco. He goes right up the moment it dies. Mystic went left, Remco went left. Favored Remco heavily, and now we see Northern Gaming taking an immediate lead.
Northern Gaming over Mockit in 3 seconds. He used all of his boost, just laid it on, hit the ball, and they've got the lead. Northern Gaming to see if they can extend it to 2 right here. Devo puts it in. Northern Gaming looking like the team that just knocked out NRG, up 2-0 right now over Mockit.
11 seconds in, 2 goals up right now, looking great for Northern, but they have quite a hill in front of them. They have to win at minimum 8 games to be able to take this home.
Oh, Mystic lurking in the midfield. He's circled 3 or 4 times, just looking for an opportunity. He'll go up, he'll put it in. Mockit's on the board. With his teammate, Devo meets it in the air and drops it to Turbo, who passes to Remco. Shot onto the backboard. Devo up for the finish, drops it bottom off the crossbar. Turbo pulls it in with the finish. Northern Gaming is toying with Mockit in game number 1. To get this figured out. If they will drop this first best of 7 and then win it in the second one, they'll do it. But game number 1.
Some bumps would help, but again, you're dedicating a lot of players when you go for demolition. Turbo Pulsa, another one. What is happening to Mockit right now?
21 seconds. You know they want it. They're trying to go for it, but Fairy Peak will shut it down. Can Remco get there? No, they'll drop that one onto the ground. Brazil avoided. Northern Gaming, though, still takes game number 1.
6-1, but like I said, just as we saw against NRG, Mockit lost the first game 6-0. Even worse than that, and they still came back and took it without any kind of falter in the next games following.
Yeah, Mystic on the side. Looking for the pass. He'll just take the shot instead. On the backboard. Nobody home. Fairy Peak will drop this one through, and Mockit strikes first.
2 going for it, and this is the counterattack that we saw them pulling against NRG. K-Dop forcing Devo out. Turbo taking out Remco himself there with a bit of
orange corner. They're gonna make this as hard as they can. It'll touch the ground. Mockit Esports ties up the finals.
1-1 now in the series. Mockit Esports barely keeping that 1-goal lead.
In the box, it'll drop straight down in between 2 Mockit players. Turbo Pulsa pushes it out. Where's Devo? He comes in from the side, takes the shot. It bounces off the crossbar. Remco in the air to try and finish it off. Turbo Pulsa in with the follow-up, but nobody else able to make the contact.
To your opponents. A demolition for Remco.
Do it. He drops into the box. K-Dop's there. Turbo Pulsa misses, but Remco, no, it's Devo again. He misses again. So many opportunities, but not able to push it through. Need to clear, and Turbo Pulsa is able to keep the pressure going. Northern Gaming still with ball control in enemy territory. Come up behind Fairy Peak, back towards the goal. K-Dop needs to get there. He's not going to touch it. Turbo Pulsa, in the most inopportune of goals, makes it happen, and Northern Gaming wins game 3.
And that's just a result of boost starving. You saw Mystic, Fairy Peak, and K-Dop struggling to pick up anything. They were coming so far out of their half just to pick up some kind of boost. And now Northern Gaming give themselves a 1-game advantage.
Turbo Pulsa will wrap that one around. Mystic, Remco up to take a shot. K-Dop's there. He'll be able to play it away, but Devo now in to take the shot. That one will do it. The demo on Fairy Peak seals the deal, and Northern Gaming scored. Finally, the ball will touch the orange backboard, and Devo will try to clear it away, but Mystic has other ideas. They want to tie it back up. It's dropped in front of an empty net. K-Dop will shoot. Oh, it was so close. Devo came flying, and it doesn't matter. We got a tie game. Play the defense from Mockit, holding on strong. Remco drops his one. Turbo takes the shot, and Mystic stops it on the goal line. Offensive from Northern Gaming, and yet we have a tie game due to the efficiency. Fairy Peak will get the save once more, keeping us tied up. What can this guy not block? Ball lofted. We'll go to overtime in game 4.
Turbo, smart on him to let that go.
They are not getting anything through.
Mockit does not have a lot of boost right now. 2 of them have 0 or 12. No. Can they finally secure it? No.
Both Devo and Turbo Pulsa miss. Remco went for the zone. He got the block. Now Fairy Peak tries to get the shot, but Turbo Pulsa saves it away. Can they get the transition save? He's going to look to set it up his teammates again. Keep the offensive going. Remco in the air. He'll finally break. It took the team pass, but Northern Gaming's now up by 2 games.
And after so much effort,
Fairy Peak to K-Dop. A bit of confusion, it looks like, on defense for Mockit right now. They're not really sure who's going to go for the clears. Devo looks for the pressure. Open net. Can he double tap this in? Oh my goodness! The Oceania region named that move after this player, and look at him perform here on the world stage.
Reading Fairy Peak's first touch. What is that? An absolute monster. We saw him pull this out in his debut in Season 2.
Confusion on defense from Mockit. They weren't sure who was to go, and so they make a lot of soft touches. Devo capitalizes on the confusion and gets the lead here, but another shot comes through. Fairy Peak, he can do it on the defense. Here he comes on the offense. In the corner, just contesting. Remco's set up in net. Mystic will try to push this one through. Oh dear, open net. Can Turbo get there? No, K-Dop puts it in. 15 seconds left, and Mockit has the lead.
You don't need to put on a lot of pressure if you can force your team to make mistakes too, going for that. I don't think Devo should have even made that attempt. He must not have been told.
Of the buzzer beater are slim. This one will touch the ground. Mockit Esports takes another win. We'll go to game 6 in our first best of 7.
Mockit still has 2 more to win, though.
And K-Dub can easily just tackle this and he'll get it away. 3:27 left as it goes in front of the net. Devo will put that one through. Northern Gaming's in the lead.
You can tell they're timid by the lack of 50-50s. No one's contesting anything unless they know for a fact they have it.
Turbo, it goes off the post. It bounces back out. Drop in front of Mystic. Turbo to shove it through. It does not go in again. In the final countdown, if they hold on here, we reset the bracket. We'll do it all again, folks. Turbo Pulsa has ball control, but there, down the field, it'll ground itself. Northern Gaming will take the win. We'll take the bracket reset. They win the first best of 7. We got to do it one more time. Very peak to play this one down. Devo into the air. Turbo Pulsa to follow. Now Mystic down the field towards the goal. Nobody's home. Mystic strikes. Put it down. Turbo and Devo in the air again. Defensive mistake there that Remco was not able to clear away fully. Mockit's going to keep the pressure on. Mystic eventually will finally punish here to come back into this game right here for Northern Gaming. As K-Dub plays it down. Devo takes the shot. And it'll go in. 9 seconds. Very possible. Can they do it, Carter? Turbo needs to win this out. He doesn't. It just drops straight down. Remco gets the save. Needs to keep this one alive, but you know Mockit's going to be trying to kill it. It'll touch down. Mockit will take game number 1. Pulsa will end up winning it out. Northern Gaming will start on the offense, but that's 3 players committed up. This is a breakaway. Is that going to just go straight in? It'll bounce off the post. K-Dub will put it in. That's Mockit striking early on an overcommitment from Northern. Devo with the touch up high. Turbo Pulsa not get through. Remco now down. Devo misses in the midfield. Mystic's going to take a free shot. Nobody's there. Remco's out of boost. That's going to be 2 goals again here for Mockit. At halftime, plenty of time to come back into this for Northern Gaming and tie up the series at 1 apiece. They're going to have to get some scoring going on. Right now, it's been all Mockit. That long breakaway might do it. It's just going to go in. Remco off the sidewall makes it a 1-goal game. Might go for this. He's going to move up quickly. Back into the middle. Remco with an opportunity. Can he fake him out? He does. Gets it underneath him. Remco, the veteran, ties up the game. Remco lurking. Gets the demo on K-Dub. Very peak with the solid clear. Turbo Pulsa in. It goes through. The defensive rotation breaks down on the demolition, and Northern Gaming has the lead. Northern Gaming ties it up.
Keeping it close. K-Dub up for the shot. He will put it. Jumps
Devo!
under the crossbar.
Oh, Very Peak puts this one in. Putting it away. Here comes K-Dub over the top. It's going to drop down in front of Mystic. He'll take the shot. It's 2-0. From 3 will go to them, and Northern Gaming is going to like to bounce back in game 4. They're looking for the opportunity. Go and just look for the pass to Remco into the box. He'll go for the shot. He'll put it in. The veterans. So a lot of space there by Northern Gaming. Very Peak lost this one. K-Dub looking for a soft shot. Opts for the top of his car. Very Peak in for the shot. He'll tie up the game after pulling out the defense. Mockit's done it. There's a goal, but Very Peak saving things like he has been all series long. Gets that one away. Remco keeps that pressure on from the corner. Turbo comes in. The great 1-2 pass, and Northern Gaming's back in the lead. Into the orange. Beginning, is there anybody in the middle? No, it's Turbo Pulsa who interrupts first, final second. They have to keep it in the air. Here's the opportunity though. K-Dub lofts this high. Very Peak puts it back in. Can Mystic get there? No. Devo puts it over to the side. They can wrap this back around, but you know Devo's just going to carry it all the way. Does he do it? He does it in style. The buzzer beater from one end to the other. Devo says goodbye. We've tied it back up.
I can't tell if these teams like each other or not. One game for a game, for a game, for a game. They're just going to trade it back and forth. Either that or they really want this to be the most intense finals we've had so far.
Side of Northern Gaming that's been keeping their goal clean. Very Peak's been a big part of it on the other side, but now that game going on for so long. FlipSid pounded so many shots in, and here he's doing it again, but finally Mystic. That's an open net. Can Mystic finish this off? He'll put it in. That 1 game away. Mockit trying to play this one back out.
This could be it. Only one play from Mockit has boost.
Oh! He gets it through! Remco puts it in! Right there in front of the goal. Remco makes a save, but there's still the threat in the back. It'll drop down. Will it touch? No, they keep it alive. It's still up. Very Peak's in the air. It does not go through. Turbo Pulsa clears it away. So close here from Mockit. They want it right now, but no, it will touch. We will have game 7 in our second best of 7. Be up on the wall, wrap him back around. Back in the middle, Remco airborne, taking a shot towards the net. Mystic with the save off to the side. Turbo Pulsa will take another one. Into the net, can Devo be there? He puts it through! The 1-2 pass again strikes, and Northern Gaming has here Devo to try and put it through. Cannot make contact. Remco to shut it down. Will it touch? Very Peak carries it high. 1 goal can still tie the game, but Devo will let it touch, and Northern Gaming has done it when they could not for the last 2 seasons. The world champion here in Los Angeles. 3rd place, 2 seasons in a row. And with Without their star maestro, they come through with Turbo and win what nobody else could.
Devo making himself a household name in Season 2. He proceeds to, in the grand finals, still bring out one of his famed double tap goals, play well for his team. Both of these teams played so safe. They really tried to slow it down. They wanted full control, but in the end, Northern Gaming came out on top. Another single goal game.
The single goal games, the entire series long. These teams playing so defensively, and look at the love on both sides. Defending Europe, it is Northern Gaming's year, the dynasty in flux. We didn't know if they could do it with Turbo, and they did that and more. They made it all the way here to the finals. And look at these champions, ladies and gentlemen.